All right, so I got busy today and couldn't do a live stream, but I do want to give my thoughts on Solana. We'll go on a longer term time frame here, higher time frame, and then we'll zoom in for more of a shorter term trading time frame. So first of all, Solana, like fundamentally, is one of my bigger plays for 2024 and 2025. I just think it's gonna end up performing really, really well, surprising a lot of people regardless of whether you believe that or not. I still want to give my thoughts on the general chart here. So we're on the logarithmic view, and we're taking a trend line from our 2020 December 2020 low, December 2022 low, and our last kind of low at around $12.80 or so. So if we run those trend lines, there's two that you can run, right? You can run one from the first point to the second point, and then the second point to the third point, and you get kind of this general zone here of support, that we're actually approaching quite quickly. Then if you run your downtrend line for this kind of like bear market bleed that we finally broke through, and then we've been retracing back into our range. We're just approaching a zone where you have a lot of trend lines intersecting, and I know like that might seem like a meme, like drawing lines on a chart, but at the end of the day, like trend lines do mean something. I mean, it's pretty obvious when you have this super long term trend line and this starts free falling, and where does it stop? Well, find some support around the trend line, right? So trend lines do matter to some degree, and especially these longer term ones. And when you have more there, that's usually a decent sign. Now, I know some of like the bigger crypto Twitter traders, have been bear posting Solana saying it's going down to $8 to $10, and maybe it is. Who knows? Binance could go under. I don't know what the fundamental catalyst would be. Obviously, you've got FTX that's going to be selling some Solana. You've got the government, U.S. government selling a bunch of Bitcoin, Mt. Gox distribution. There's plenty of bearish catalysts throughout the rest of the year to potentially push us down there, right? But I think that's like just saying, hey, Solana is going to go down to $8 to $10 and I'm going to buy it down there. It's kind of putting the cart before the horse. I think it's being a little bit greedy. And I'm much of a much bigger fan of taking things one step at a time and just playing the next support level. So all I care about right now is what's the next support level? Where's our range? So our range is really our range. I'll just kind of shade it in here. The range is we're at the bottom right now of our range. Right. So I know this is, because I've got so many lines here. It can be hard to see if I don't shade it in like that. You had your deviation up here, your deviations down here. The bulk of this data, the bulk of this price action has been between around $19 and around $25.50 to $26. That's the bulk of your range. And you've had some deviations, and we could, potentially deviate again. But we do have a lot of support coming in here. A lot of horizontal lines, and these horizontal lines, I've talked about this in many videos in the past. They're derived a couple of different ways. You've got your price bias levels, your risk reward levels, your margin pressure levels, right? So for example, the support we're finding right now has all this support that's been coming in. It's been at the intersection of a couple levels here, but a lot of it's been on the back of this 1x short margin pressure level and this 3x long margin pressure level. Well, the 3x long margin pressure level is rooted, right, from $12.80. So what does that mean? That means that if you're a leverage trader, a leverage market participant, and you want to go long on Solana, as soon as Solana goes below this $19.20 level, this 3x long margin pressure level, that's the point at which you can start going long on 3x leverage and maintain a liquidation point below this 1280 swing low. So if you think this 1280 swing low is going to hold, as soon as price goes below 1920, you can start bidding on 3x leverage and adding to your position on 3x leverage, and you're just simply taking the bet of you think there's going to be a higher low. Right. So there's a lot of market participants, or some market participants, that are bidding that, and that manifests as support. And you also have some other overlapping support levels. So we have a similar situation to that down here at $16. Around 16 to around 1640, this region. You also have the overlapping of all these trend lines. Really, if you just take this entire zone as a bid zone, it's 16 to 1750. And you have quite a lot of support there. Your structural support obviously comes in right at 16. You might be wondering, like, why 16? Well, why did we originally find support at 16? Well, it's because our bottom, like our bear market bottom, was at 8 exactly. What's the 2x long margin pressure level of $8? 16. What I mean by that, as soon as price drops below $16, there's a lot of incentive to bid. Why? Because you can start bidding on 2x long leverage and maintain a liquidation point below $8, right? So if you bid here at $15.99 or 16, as long on 2x leverage, as long as price doesn't go below $8, you don't get liquidated on your position, right? So for that reason, we've seen 16. And then what did we see as the next level of resistance? 32, right? 8, 16, 32. The market moves like this. You've seen 24 be a really key level as well, right? Because there's some margin pressure levels off of $24 because of the 8, 8 and then 16 and then 32. So we've run all these levels in advance here and, labeled them out. And what we get is a pretty strong support level support zone between 16 and 1750. And while I'm fairly bearish for September, who knows? Maybe, this is strong support here. This has been the bulk of the range has been in here. Now we do have some bearish things coming up, the FTX sell off, and you can get some bearish scares in the market. If Bitcoin goes down to 23, 24K or even 20K, Solana's probably going to drop too. Where is it going to drop to? Well, initially, I would be betting on a bounce here. I'd be betting on at least a bounce, and that's where I want to be trading. I want to be looking to buy at 16 to 1750, and just turning around and selling at the next zone up, 19 to 20. Right? It's pretty simple. So from a longer term perspective, just looking to trade a bounce like that, if we get it. From a shorter term perspective, right now, I've just been farming this range that we're stuck in. So if I zoom in here. We've just been in like this 80-cent range, right? Basically from $20, right? $20 up here down to around 19.20, right? So just been bidding 19.20, turning around, selling and shorting 20. Now I did miss that short, to be quite frank, quite honest. And I did have a trade where I looked to buy this, right, and got stopped out. But otherwise, we've had a lot of successful trades here, just bidding 19.20, farming these levels. It's just been a very plus EV thing to do, just farming this range. I'll be looking to short 20, and I'll be looking to go long at 19.20, right? Short at 20, long at 19.20. And for as long as we stay in this range, we're going to just continue to farm it. And once we break out of it, we'll just get stopped out and then we'll move on to the next range, right? So that's all there is to it for Solana right now. Just trading level to level. Have some stable coins set aside to bid the 16 to 1750 levels, and we'll take it day by day. If we break below 16, we've got support at 12, 10, 8. I don't think we're going back down to 8, 10 to 12. Sure, I'll bid very aggressively there. But yeah, overall, just that's my take on Solana. I know is kind of a little bit long there. Guys, if you want access to the indicators that I use to build out these charts, as well as actually the prefabricated chart templates, I make them available at Sistine.ai. Head over to Sistine.ai. You can grab the indicators bundle that I use to derive those from. You can also join the Research Hub, where we identify asymmetric risk-reward opportunities in the market, send them to our clients via email, as well as posting them in the Research Hub. Research Hub has tons and tons of great stuff in it. Think of it as like a living, breathing newsletter, but better in my opinion. We've got September positioning, we've got asset performance by month, we've got important dates coming up. So there's just a lot of information, educational information, plays in here, opportunities, principles, which is our educational airdrop guide, step by step. The goal here is just to help you pay for your subscription just by farming airdrops. Trading view charts, that's what I was just talking about, all these pre-made charts, spaghetti charts. We've got all sorts of resources here in the Research Hub for you to check out. Guys, if you want to trade on leverage, there's links in the description of YouTube. If you're on Twitter, you can, I guess, DM me or something, or just find the YouTube links. If you want to trade on leverage in the US, there's a link for BTCC. If you want to trade on leverage and you're not in the US, there's a link for Bybit. Otherwise, thanks so much for tuning in. Catch you next time. Peace.